Polce Consulting, and he's on this morning to talk about IT services and cybersecurity and the most recent Delta Airlines situation. And Mike, good morning. Thanks for coming on. This Delta.
Morning.
It shows you how we are just completely reliant upon our technology, and when it goes down, it is ugly.
It is. It is. In the case with Delta Airlines, it was really more of a malfunction in one of their data centers. So it wasn't a cybersecurity issue as much as it was a physical failure in the data center. And originally, it came out in the news that it was a power outage, but that was quickly cleared up that there was no power outage in that area. What it really was a power control module within the data center itself that apparently malfunctioned, causing a surge that blew out a transformer. But it's got to beg the question of, what happened with the high availability and the other systems that should have been in place to back that up and take over right away. So these are the things that are, unfortunately, on Ed Bastian's plate to kind of answer as the CEO of the company.
Wouldn't you think that a company this large with so much writing, I mean, second busiest airline in the world,
exactly.
Wouldn't you think they'd have this stuff buttoned down here?
Yeah, you would. And there's two things you got to think about in the case of a data center or an operation of this magnitude. Number one, you got to make the necessary investment into the technology that's going to give you the redundancy that you need. Number two, you got to test it. So, the chain's only as strong as the weakest link.
Right.
And in this case, if there's a weak link somewhere and it's not being tested on a regular basis, you're not going to find it until it happens. So this is ultimately what happened to them.
Mike, you got into this business. When you got in, you had to have an idea that this was going to be big, but did you anticipate that your business would really become so important? How important this is when we're looking at cyber attacks and just simple malfunctions like what happened with Delta?
Well, nobody ever has a crystal ball, but and I've been in the business a long time. I go back to the early 80s and mid-80s, and I worked for IBM and worked in large-scale data centers like what Delta has. And so you could see the emphasis being placed on those facilities back then. But nowadays, it's everything. Social media, even your operation, everything is relying on technology, and it's much more. It's vast. I mean, everybody has it.
Well, it's interesting. Just yesterday, we're going through the merger with Time Warner Cable and Charter Communications. And I don't think this had anything to do with it, but business class, internet, and cable went down 2 days ago. So our internet was down 2 days ago. It shows you in the day, it used to be everything was put on tape, and from there we put it on the air. And today, everything comes off. Everything is web-based, right down really to the phone lines that transmit our signal to the tower. It is amazing how one outage can really shut down an operation.
It is, and it's real time, too. So those days are unfortunately gone, and everybody expects it. Everybody wants it real time. They want the information right away.
Well, what do you suggest to we saw what happened at Delta. You have companies here that are thinking about, boy, what if this happened to us? What are your recommendations? Well,
a lot of companies, unfortunately, aren't taking disaster recovery and business continuity as seriously as they should. It's one of those things where nobody wants to think about it. So, nobody thinks it's going to happen to them either. So a disaster can present itself in a number of ways. I mean, you can have a natural disaster, hurricanes, floods, but what about internally, like what happened with Delta?
Right.
So these are the things that people aren't thinking about. You have to think of every situation and a contingency for those situations. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit that we see with these companies, and if every company would just start thinking about it more and taking a proactive stance on this kind of planning, I'd be better off.
How about the general public? I mean, hey, it can do what it does. What happened to Delta could happen to Joe Blow, and you can't get your money out. I mean, a lot of people are now using the internet to control their thermostat to get in through their garage door. I mean, you could be shut down.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. It's called the Internet of Things, and it's there's going to be a day. We used to think about this 15, 20 years ago as like it was rocket science or something, but it's happening now. It's really becoming the mainstream. So you got to be thinking about it all the time, I guess. And like I said, companies really have to start putting a good step forward and doing some planning for this.
All right, Mike, interesting. Mike Polce, the founder of M.A. Polce Consulting. We appreciate your time this morning. Thanks so much.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I have waiting on the line is Sue, and I know this is not the same type of thing, but it is kind of similar. Sue is in Utica, and has a question. We were talking about Time Warner, but DirecTV is in the news right now with WKTV, right?
Oh, they certainly are.
And so you have DirecTV.
Yes, I do.
And as of right now, is WKTV on DirecTV anymore?
No, it's not. Neither is CBS or Channel 3, which is CW. And I think WKTV did a big disservice to this area when they acquired the CBS affiliate.
Okay. Why do you say that?
They bit off more than they can chew. I miss Syracuse news because I got more out of the Syracuse area than I did from WKTV, which is just repetitious entertainment. It's not even news. I consider them an entertainment, just like some of the bigger stations. I enjoy WUTR immensely, and I wish they would hurry up and get themselves on the ball and get a new news for a half hour and take care of all this nonsense.
So, and by the way, you know that we broadcast on WFXV, Fox 33 every morning.
Oh, I got you on now. I'm watching. I tape it, too, so
that's awesome. So we're waving to you right now. Okay,
I'm waving back.
In fairness to WKTV, and I want to come to their defense a little here, they're in this is a smaller company, whereas WTR and Fox, they're owned by Nexstar, which is a larger company, similar to what we Town Square Media owns WIBX. Larger, I think we're the third largest company in America for radio companies. So WKTV being a smaller company, it becomes these fees that like DirecTV, these fees are high. And do you have any sympathy on that, Sue? Or you think they bit off too much?
Oh, I definitely think they bit off too much, and they can handle them. They thought they were going to be the big show in town, and I have no sympathy for them whatsoever. They should have left things as they were, and who knows what's going to happen when Time Warner gets taken over. What are their fees going to be down the road?
Yeah, you'll recall. A few years back. Yep.
They don't care about the little guy, and I think WKTV did an immense disservice to this area.
So
they
now,
provide less by doing what they've done.
So now, Sue, what on your DirecTV? So you had KTV, you had their CW, and you had what used to be TVH, which is now WKTV CBS. So you had that on your television. As of today, did they replace the NBC with something else?
No, it just shows a DirecTV music thing. That,
wow. So you can't watch the Olympics.
Well, there's other NBC stations that carry it.
Okay, so they have other NBC stations on DirecTV.
Yes, they do.
And they have other CBS,
sports and all that other stuff.
Okay, all right, got it. Kind of similar to what happened when Time Warner, KTV and Time Warner had an issue maybe 4 or 5 years ago when they put on a station from Pennsylvania that was put on here.
Exactly,
yeah, okay.
And I think WKTV's. I don't know what's going to happen to them after this decision was made when they...
Well, if I can just say, though, a lot of times this happens, and then in a week or 3 days or 3 months...
The Time Warner thing took a long time, if you remember. That was a long negotiation.
They'll be back at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, but you wonder, Time Warner was different. Does Direct Cable need DirecTV? Do they need... And it is DirecTV, right? That's the problem. Do they need these local stations? I wonder.
I don't think so.
I don't think they fit. Whereas Time Warner has, they have local Time Warner Sports. They have they're from here a little. Even though they're not from here, but it just seems like they have an office here. Whereas DirecTV has an office somewhere far away. I wonder if they even care that your local affiliate is on your cable or on their satellite. I wonder if they even care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
DirecTV is a big company.
Yeah.
And let's face it, they already set their price with NBC DirecTV because NBC is still broadcasting, right?
Right.
And different networks.
Oh, and you think about
W-
it, I wonder if KTV's issue here is the fact that they now are the CBS affiliate. So now they have to pay for KTV, for NBC, and they have to pay for CBS. I wonder if that plays a role in this. Well, that's
There
very
you
interesting.
go. They bit off a lot more of that piece of pie than they could afford.
All right, Sue. Thank you. We'll. I'm gonna reach out to Steve McMurray up at KTV and see if we can get him on.
Oh,
to give
and
us,
I'm sure they're going to give us
update.
a lot of sympathy. We need, where they want us to call DirecTV. It's not happening here.
You have no sympathy at all. You're staying.
No.
You're staying with DirecTV.
You're not biting.
No. All right, Sue.
Thank you.
Sue the toughie. Okay, thank you. And Andrew, see if you can get Steve McMurray. I'll break and come back, and we'll try to talk to him. If not today, tomorrow, let's chat with him. And I want KTV to have a chance to give their side of this story. But these fees are, there's a mess out there. And you're seeing it's not just in this market. I was watching, there was a story about this whole thing in New York City. I think one of the networks in New York City was at odds with, and those are big companies right there. Quick break. Coming right back at 8:52 at WIBX.